Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Aries moon signs, or for those with significant Aries placements and are needing a feminine energy to work with or balance within yourself. Then this reading may be for you. So Aries, I'm getting a lot of energy coming in just as downloads before we get started. So I had to write it down because there's so much. First of all, the Saturn and Mercury retrograde that we're currently in may be bringing up energies from the past that have to do with sort of like contracts or like work contracts from the past, or like communication within those sort of like dynamics. And there's sort of like a caution here to like, yes, you should look at the past, but don't linger there. Because I feel like there's something from the past that's actually trying to like re-engage you. It kind of feels like an old workplace or something like that that's trying to get you to come back to that workplace that you've left already. Something like that. Doesn't have to be exactly that for you, but it's like trying to re-engage you or to like draw you into whatever it is that they're dealing with. So just being mindful of that, to look at the past, because I feel like there are valuable lessons there, but to not linger on that. So I was also getting a lot of like solar plexus energy, first of all, but also like sacral and root chakra energies. So the first three chakras, which are very much like physical energy based. And it was coming through a lot with Mars energy because of course Aries is ruled by Mars. So I'm feeling a lot of Mars energy within you that's like being like stirred up. And it could have this effect because, of course, Mars is the planet that sort of rules, like, it can deal with, like, motivation and drive and willpower, right? That's all, like, solar plexus energy. It could also represent sort of, like, passion and sexuality and, like, your physical body and how you express, like, your physical needs, that kind of thing. So that's also sacral and root. And it's also coming through with like conflict. So there may be like conflicts from the past that are coming up again. There could be, it could be like old relationships as well that are coming up again. There's also kind of feeling like, I feel like there's all this energy that's being like stirred up within you, like an internal, I don't know, like reorganization of your Mars energy perhaps. And that it's also like, because it's an internal energy that you're working through, it's also being reflected in your external environment. Like, so if you're feeling like conflicted about something, it's also being reflected in other people. Like you're seeing it reflected in the people around you or the circumstances around you or whatever that is. I feel like on some level, Aries, you are also like activating these three chakras in other people around you and like your relationships as well, where there could be like an increase in like conflict with other people, or like I was getting specifically like competition, like people wanting to compete with you or you wanting to compete with other people. So just being mindful of that, or like wanting to take a lot of action. I was specifically getting a phrase, Aries, like someone wants to take a bite out of you. And that could be coming through in multiple ways with Mars energy. Like, could be conflict, right? Like somebody's really like angry or upset with you. Or it could also be sexually. They could be very attracted to you and like you are looking like a snack, Aries. That's what was coming through. So I'm just going to leave that there. I feel like for you, Aries, it's also coming through with being like, I feel like you're hungry for something. I feel like you're like feeling like spiritually or energetically like hungry, and that's coming from the solar plexus, right? Like perhaps you're like, it feels like you are wanting like a very physical experience in whatever way that is for you, but it also has to come from the heart is what I'm feeling. Like it's like wanting a very physical experience that is heart-centered. So one last note is to have patience with the roadblocks, because I feel like there may be roadblocks, because Aries can be very fast moving energy. And I feel like that's not a criticism at all, Aries. I just feel like in this time, especially with all the retrogrades and things like that, if you are moving too quickly on something that may be sort of like a past pattern, you don't want to repeat a cycle is how it's coming through. So being very conscious about how you engage with the energy that you are receiving, and also like choosing consciously so that you don't repeat past patterns is how it's coming through. Okay. So I'm gonna pull some alchemy cards. Okay. The conjunction card. That's the unity card in this deck with love, right? Like wanting to come together with another is kind of how it's coming through. Because I feel like this is your focus, right? The conjunction, the unity, the love. Joining of opposites. Very harmonious, but at the same time, it's almost like there are distractions that are trying to engage you in things that are not this, like conflict, competition, that kind of thing. So just being aware of that, Aries. But I love that that's the first card coming out. And the benevolent guide, which is talking about you have support here, especially when it feels like you don't. I actually feel like the roadblocks are support for you, because I feel like it's tempering your fire, because you have a lot of it in this reading. There's a lot of fire. So there's a benevolent guide energy, almost trying to like guide your fire or like guide your actions, so that you don't repeat old patterns, right? So if you are experiencing roadblocks and things like that, it's a guide. It's a guide. It's actually steering you towards what you should be going towards, if that makes sense. Uranus. A sudden change. Sudden insight into something. Perhaps like inspiration, or like it's coming through with like new direction. It's coming through with like clear focus as well. I feel like there's there may actually even be like a conflict that is illuminating something for you very clearly, is how it's coming through. There may be like a conflict, like it may not be conflict with you. It may just be sort of like, it's coming through like with Five of Wands energy, where there's a lot of conflicting energies, right? It doesn't necessarily have to lead to argument or fighting or whatever. Just feels like there's a lot of conflicting energies, like a lot of opinions, a lot of noise, a lot of distractions, that kind of thing. But you're gaining clarity from that experience, actually, is how it's going through. They're really interesting. You're getting clarity from the conflict. And the Chaos card. Chaos card at the bottom of the deck. Another thing with the benevolent guide energy, the line that I love in this deck is that there is, you can't go wrong, right? There's no bad decision or wrong choice or anything when this card comes out. It's like your path is supported. You have a lot of support, and I feel like this is beautiful energy. There's a change coming. I feel like you have been waiting for this change, Aries. I've been using this Shaman deck a lot. I'm really liking it because I'm like rediscovering it is how it's feeling to me, like because I put it aside for a really long time and I'm rediscovering it. So maybe you're rediscovering something that perhaps had like a negative connotation for you. Like maybe you're rediscovering something that you enjoy from an experience that maybe had a negative connotation for you in the past. Spirit of the River, movement towards adventure. Okay, I'm going to read one. I'm going to read that one because I haven't actually read that one before. Interesting. Movement towards adventure, addiction to problems, and allowing and trusting the current. That addiction to problems is sticking out to me. I feel like people are bringing up problems for you, perhaps to solve, and it's challenging your like, is that really your problem to solve, Aries? It's that's how it's coming through. Do you really need to solve that problem for somebody else? I feel like that's how it's coming through. Okay. The Spirit of the River invites you to step into the flow, to stop swimming against or avoiding the current. Allow the waters to carry you downstream, away from the eddies and the whirlpools. It's time to heed the call of a new adventure waiting for you. Stop working on the problem for a while. The issue is not what it seems. It is your addiction to fixing what has gone bad that is consuming so much of your time. Work to create a greater good, and the bad will resolve itself on its own. There is nothing that you can accomplish with more efforting, as the situations in your life right now are subject to forces beyond your control. Recognize this, step back, and trust the flow. There is no loss of face or lack of honor or integrity. It is simply the way things are at this moment. When this card appears, it is time to say yes to the next leg of your journey. Your life is like a river, inevitably and inexorably flowing to the sea, which is your divine destination. Be fearless and release yourself to the rushing water in the middle of the stream. Whatever it is you are holding on to, the feelings, the thoughts, the beliefs about how things are, or how they should or could be, can be fixed easily with the power of the Spirit of the River. Simply let go and enjoy the thrill of the ride. All will be well. Okay, Aries, I'm not going to pull another card from this deck because it is feeling like just letting go, right? Like letting go of control. Especially in terms of like if there has been a problem that you've been dealing with it's almost like stop trying to fix it. Stop trying to fix it because it's not going to be fixed that way. Stop trying to fix the problem. Just let go. I feel like it's like with the Uranus card with the lightning coming from the hand, it's like the solution's going to arrive when you let go. Interesting. Okay. I have a couple of new decks, Aries, that I want to use. I have not used these decks at all. This is the first time I'm using them. So this first one is called Animal Apothecary by Cara Elizabeth. Okay, what is this new leg of the journey? Focus on the big picture. There's a lighthouse, a bee with a crown, and I want to say some sort of falcon. Focus on the big picture. So I feel like this is okay. So the bee with the crown and the lighthouse, because it's like this is the spiritual, the benevolent guide, right? It's almost like there's a benevolent guide showing you the way or the path forward. But it feels kind of like it's very far in a, like, that's not the right way of phrasing it. It's it appears small because you're seeing it from far away. It's the big picture. So perhaps you're receiving like guidance about something upcoming for you, but you're seeing it from far away. So it appears like something small. You may actually be like receiving something or making like a very subtle shift in direction that feels like it's like, it could be like a really, really small, like a bee. It's tiny, but is actually revealing, it's like the first step towards the big picture. Perhaps you're not seeing the big picture yet, because it's also kind of like if you are focused on the distractions or sort of like the little things metaphorically, or like the getting caught up on details of something, maybe you're missing out on the bigger picture, right? You have to take a step back from it. I feel like maybe that's the guidance, is taking a step back from something. Taking a step back from the problem, whatever that is for you, and seeing the big picture of it. I want to see what that one says. Hold on. Visionary Hawk. It's a hawk, not a falcon. The Visionary Hawk card comes with a powerful message about a higher perspective. The image of the hawk coming out of the eye asks you to transcend your current perception and see the bigger picture. Hawk is aligned with the lighthouse that focuses its light on the bee, which represents your purpose and desire. Hawk says you must expand your perception to encompass a higher viewpoint and focus on the thing you want. Then victory, represented by the crown, is the only next logical step. Hawk is asking you to take control of your thoughts. Stop playing victim to external circumstances and own the truth that you create your own reality. Declare that your life is going to be the most fulfilling, prosperous, and joyful you have ever experienced. Proclaim that you will overcome all obstacles, your self-doubt, and your insecurities because you have a gift that you and only you were created to share. Regardless of whether your current situation is less than desirable, this card comes as a confirmation that something beautiful is awaiting you. But the first step is to make that decision to get out of your ego's limited perception. Testify to the world and yourself that something big is awaiting you. Not even your disbelief in yourself will stop you from fulfilling your purpose. You were created for greatness. Hawk's medicine asks you to immediately snap out of whatever discouraging story may be playing in your mind and immediately focus on that power, on the power of all the achievements that await you. Focus on all the achievements that await you. So maybe there was some sort of like feeling stuck in a particular problem, right? Like that kind of thing. It could be a bit of victim mentality as well. It could be something like being stuck in sort of like a narrative of like external circumstances being the reason why you can't move forward or something like that. So it's wanting you to focus on the big picture. It is kind of coming through as detachment, like detaching from a particular problem or way of seeing things. You face your fear at the bottom of the deck. Face your fear, meaning like actually address what it is that you're afraid of. And that's where you find the key to move forward. Full moon power. I love this card. That's coming out under the Uranus. So I feel like, so maybe the next full moon for you is going to be sort of like that sudden change that you're waiting for. But again, focusing on sort of like what you can do about this situation. I feel like though it's requiring a change internally for you, Aries. Like maybe you are having to change the way that you engage with something or engage with a problem. And it is sort of requiring your full power. Your full power. I feel like you're manifesting a change. Or perhaps a new opportunity or something like that. Beaver Moon creation at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you are manifesting a change. Perhaps starting within yourself, right? Because if you are seeing conflict and competition being reflected back to you, is that something that you are feeling within yourself? Like an internal conflict or an internal competitiveness maybe, or some sort of like internal struggle maybe that you're dealing with that you're just having to let go or surrender to. Movement towards adventure, though. There is a lot of movement for you, Aries. It feels like a new cycle in love as well. With conjunction. I feel like maybe, especially with like, the spirit of the river. Feeling perhaps more adventurous. Maybe there was like, maybe you were holding yourself back from something. Maybe you're feeling more adventurous to engage with life, maybe in a more spirited way is how it's going through. It could be like fear of conflict has been holding you back. You have nothing to worry about, though, Aries. Yeah. As I was saying, fear of conflict, 7 of Swords, Knight of Cups, and the 9 of Wands. Interesting. These are all, this is a new deck as well, so give me a minute to look at them. I feel like you were holding yourself back from something. It could be sabotage, like self-sabotage, right? Like, especially if we're talking about like seeing a lot of conflict being reflected back to you with the 9 of Wands. With the 9 of Wands, like it could be that you had a lot of, you had a defense up, right? Like having a defense up. Having your guard up in something. The 9 of Wands can also be very sort of like detached from other people, like, or like keeping people at a distance, other people at a distance. Maybe you've been keeping other people at a distance, Aries. With the Knight of Cups as well, it's so interesting because it's like surrounded by all of this water, like cups, right? It's almost kind of feeling like, Aries, maybe you've been like hoarding your own emotions. That's how it's coming through. Like, keeping all of your emotions to yourself is how it's feeling. And so how I'm seeing this, like, spirit of the river, it's like releasing this. Like, maybe you've been, because Aries moon placements can be, just speaking from personal experience, like my moon is in Aries, where like if something's bothering you, sometimes it can be like, okay, I'm just gonna keep that to myself, right? Until the point where it becomes like, okay, you have all of these like little things that you've been keeping to yourself for so long, and it's like it can be sort of Seven of Swords, like what little things building up to the point where they become big problems, right? It's kind of coming through like that. So maybe it's feeling like that might be sort of a change where you're not sort of holding on to little things anymore. Could be that. And sort of releasing them, right? Like letting them go, letting them flow, letting it go. It just feels like perhaps letting go of like little things. But there are a lot of little things that you've been holding on to, Aries. It is feeling very freeing, because it also is coming through as being like maybe focusing too much on like the little details of something and missing out on the big picture. But I feel like that's changing for you, right? Like that's changing. I feel like maybe you are letting your guard down a little bit. Sharing your emotions with others, how you feel with other people, perhaps little by little. Or maybe not little by little. Maybe it's like a huge river that you're releasing. These cards are a little bit sticky, so just bear with me as they take a little bit of time to come out. Ace of Pentacles. I love that. Okay, so Ace of Pentacles. This is, sometimes I see the Ace of Pentacles as being like a very small physical object. It could be like a tool. It could be like a book. Like sometimes it comes through with like a cookbook, right? Like it's a physical object that has a lot of potential, but you actually need to put in the work to like get all the potential out of it, if that makes sense. So I feel like you have something like this, Aries, the Ace of Pentacles, which is like a physical object. It is feeling very physical to me. Like this is also feeling like solar plexus. It could have something to do with like an experience that you've been craving. It could be like something that will require a lot of like willpower, determination, and drive in order to move towards it, right? Like but it is small, I want to say. It's like the beginning. It's the first step towards something that's a big picture kind of energy. It's gonna expand if you want it to, Aries, because I feel like that's the issue right now. I feel like maybe there's a bit of like perhaps getting stuck in your head a little bit of like I don't know. Okay, let's get more cards. I feel like you already have this Ace of Pentacles. It's already in your environment somewhere, but maybe you haven't actually like worked with it yet in a concrete, like tangible way. Perhaps you're starting to, though. It's already in your environment, this Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, the Hermit. Oh my god, these cards are so beautiful. This is coming under the full moon power. I feel like this upcoming full moon is going to be very significant for you. Is it full moon in Aquarius? That's the Uranus energy, right? Because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So the full moon in Aquarius might be like a really significant time for you where maybe you're like receiving some sort of new inspiration to create something. But the Hermit, though, this is giving me like September vibes, right? Like Virgo energy, perhaps in Virgo season. Maybe in Virgo season, like it's coming through with fall, like autumn. So I feel like that season might be very significant for you. There may be sort of like maybe September is going to be like a really introspective time for you to like rediscover some aspect of your power, or that you're going to like explore or find some aspect of your power or a new aspect of your power through this Ace of Pentacles. I feel like Aries, there still might be sort of this tendency to withdraw as well. But it feels different though, because this beginning energy is like withdrawing because of limiting beliefs, or like doing something that's not good for you. Doing something that's not good for you is kind of how it's coming through. And it could be sort of like holding on to things. Like, if I have no other way to describe it, but hoarding emotions. Like you hold on to your emotions that perhaps you need to let go is how it's feeling. This Hermit doesn't necessarily feel like the same. It might look that way in terms of behavior. Like perhaps withdrawing, or perhaps like being very quiet or isolating or that kind of thing. But it feels like with the Hermit, it's like the intention or the reason why you're doing that is different. Because it's almost like this feels like withdrawing and holding on to things because of fear, or because of like you're too focused on something that you shouldn't be focused on. This Hermit feels like you're actually focused on what it is you should be focused on, which is this Ace of Pentacles. Like, it feels like a shift of focus, right? You're focusing on the big picture now through whatever this Ace of Pentacles is, rather than trying to solve a problem that you can't solve in this way, is how it's coming through. So it feels like a change in behavior that is beneficial to you. But that how it appears to others might be the same, if that makes sense. You may still be isolating, but it feels like in order to focus on the big picture, if that makes sense, or you're like detaching from something, not because you're holding on to emotions, but because you're trying to see a big picture, if that makes sense. It feels very different. Okay, it's way too many cards came out. I'm gonna hold on. That's too many cards. I'm gonna put them back. Okay, let's focus on this Ace of Pentacles and the Hermit. The Two of Wands and the Chariot. These cards are so beautiful. The Two of Wands and the Chariot. There's your movement forward, right? The spirit of adventure. Okay, so you have here like the spirit of the river, spirit of adventure, and this like it looks like a flying contraption. Like it kind of looks like if you've seen the movie Howl's Moving Castle, it looks like that, but it's flying. That's what it looks like. Like a flying chariot. And the Two of Wands. I feel like there's maybe you're making plans to move, like take action somewhere or go on some sort of adventure with the Two of Wands. Because so sometimes that can be like making plans, right? Like, or looking ahead. It feels kind of like maybe you will have a destination. Perhaps like literally, physically, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be just like you have a direction and a purpose to move forward towards. And it does feel like it's there's a sense of freedom with those two energies. Because this Two of Wands almost looks like a gate. Like stepping through a gate, or like you're like at the front of the line is how it's coming through. It's like, because I'm getting kind of like energy of like a roller coaster or like a slide. Like it's looking like a water slide for some reason. Like you're at the gate, like you're the next one in line. So it's like you're getting ready to like step into something. I could just stare at these cards all day. They're so beautiful. Aries, I feel like it's going to be a very creative part of the journey for you. This Page of Swords came out, but it was sort of in reverse. I feel like you're done waiting for something. Or you're done, like, when I say waiting, I mean, like, it's like you have been waiting for a really long time for something. I feel like there's a shift out of that energy of, like, having patience still, but also knowing, like, taking a decisive action. Because sometimes the Page of Swords can be sort of like, collecting information, like gathering information. Perhaps you've been in that stage of like gathering a lot of information about something. Is this somebody else? Maybe somebody else has been gathering information about you, Aries. That's unexpected. I feel like somebody has been like, because it is in reverse, I feel like that's somebody else's energy. I feel like perhaps because you've been holding on to, I'm just going to say hoarding your emotions. I feel like you've been like holding on to a lot of, like keeping things close to the chest, I should say. Somebody has been trying to like get information about you, Aries. Perhaps you are coming together with someone, right? But it's like this person hasn't been able to figure you out. I feel like they've been trying, though. It feels like somebody has been trying to like learn about you, but they haven't been able to figure you out because you've been keeping things close to the chest. I feel like that's not good for you, though, Aries. Of course, you know, use your discernment. Interesting. Yeah, because it's if you have here the King of Wands, Two of Cups, and the Death card. I feel like somebody who has been in a Page of Swords, they've been gathering information about you in a way where it's like they want to connect with you. They're trying to figure out perhaps what you care about, or like how to approach you, what you might like is how it's feeling. Like trying to get to know you, Aries. That's how it's feeling. It feels like somebody else, but I feel like they're moving. This could also be you as well. So either you or another person are moving out of the phase of like gathering and collecting information into action is how it's feeling with the King of Wands and the Two of Cups, right? Like, so it feels like this is a connection that you are coming together with. One or both of you have been waiting or collecting information. And it feels like that's changing here with the Death card. Like that's, it's moving past the point of, not like that. It's, I feel like somebody's being like really cautious or like being very intentional in how they approach you. Or perhaps you are doing that. You're being very intentional in how you I feel like that's needing a change though. It kind of feels like somebody, you or another person could be like focusing on sort of like details or like being very intentional about something, or like hoarding things. It feels like hoarding. I don't know how else to describe that. It feels like it's time to act on something. What's the big picture that Aries is not seeing? Three of Wands, Ace of Wands, and the Tower and the Hanged Man. Oh my gosh. Okay. I feel like the Uranus energy is destroying some sort of tower for you. And it feels kind of like stuck, like feeling stuck with the Hanged Man. Or it's like you've been in a position that is perhaps not good for you anymore. Or like with a Hanged Man, like it's not the right way. It's not the right way. It's like growing upside down. Maybe you've been focused too much on your roots, or on like maybe you've been doing a lot of shadow work, is how it's feeling. Because there's a lot of Pluto and Scorpio energy coming in as well. Perhaps you've been doing a lot of shadow work. Or working with the moon a lot, Aries, and it's like you've done all that you can there. It's time to step back from that and to like emerge into the light in whatever way that is for you, or like to take some sort of action. I feel like you've been very like comfortable in the darkness. Again, with all of that sort of like hoarding energy, like keeping things hidden, or keeping things to yourself, or keeping things like really like close to the chest. It feels like emotional, or yeah, like maybe your fears, like maybe you've been doing a lot of like shadow work, or like working a lot with your fears. And I feel like you've done, or you've like gotten to this point, right? The full moon power, the moon is now full. This aspect of your life is now full. It's complete, it's whole. And now you can sort of take the key or the lesson and bring it out and forward, is how it's coming through. It's like trying to move forward with something. With the Ace of Wands and the Three of Wands, I actually feel like whatever this tower energy is, it's like I'm seeing actually this is kind of like a cast or something like that. Like maybe you've been protecting something, and what's underneath that is the Ace of Wands. Like it's like removing the cast on something that you've been needing to heal, perhaps, or like the like shadow work, or whatever, however you want to phrase that. And it's like whatever is revealed from that is this Ace of Wands. And I feel like once that happens, this is such a gorgeous Ace of Wands. Once that happens, manifestation, Three of Wands. It's so interesting because this is looking to me like this is looking to me like look at these two, the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. It's like this is like a void here, where the Ace of, like, this is the complete picture, if that makes sense. What was missing was the Ace of Wands. Like passion, perhaps, or inspiration, or sexuality, or sacral chakra energy, and whatever that is. It's kind of feeling like the Ace of Wands was missing. It's like these two energies complete the full picture. That's the big picture that you weren't seeing. This might even be a small detail. You're looking at this sort of like new thing in your life and wondering how that adds up to the big picture. I feel like there has to be some sort of like tower energy. I'm seeing this tower as being like the Uranus like lightning strike. Like could be like inspiration. It could be a sudden like epiphany or understanding about whatever that actually brings you out of a hanged man position. It's like I feel like you've been seeking clarity about something. It's arriving though. I feel like it's coming through conflict. You may actually be experiencing conflict, as I said in the beginning, but that's actually bringing clarity about a bigger picture that you've been not seeing. This could also be as well, because we were talking about the Unity card, right? I feel like you have this Ace of Pentacles and someone else has the Three of Wands. And it's like your energy would complete their manifestation and vice versa. It's kind of like you are the missing piece to somebody else's big picture. Or you have the missing piece to somebody else's big picture. It's something like that. I don't know. Okay. You have here Knight of Pentacles and Page of Wands. And then the 10 of Wands and the Sun card. I feel like when this epiphany or clarity comes in, it's like this is when the work begins. 10 of Wands. I feel like okay, so something has to come together. You and another perhaps, or you and a manifestation, or you and an opportunity, or whatever it is for you, Aries. You and something else are coming together, and it's going to like complete the big picture vision, maybe, or like a manifestation perhaps. I feel like it's also like removing a whole bunch of like old stuck energy, or like clearing out a whole bunch of like emotional energy perhaps. It feels like that, like clearing out a whole bunch of like stuck emotional energy, and then it's like bringing in a whole bunch of like passion and creativity and inspiration, and then you start building, right? It's like you have all of this, like these are all like really building and exploration focused kind of energies, like Knight of Pentacles, steady progress, doing something diligently every day with a lot of focus, a lot of like it's Virgo energy to me, like doing something very deliberately, that kind of thing. Page of Wands, I feel like is like you're gonna explore something new. And 10 of Wands today doesn't quite feel like a bad thing, but it's kind of like, I feel like because Aries, perhaps you've been holding on to a lot of things. Wishes, it feels like. I feel like you've been holding on to a lot of wishes that maybe need to go through like a decluttering of your wishes. Like, is this something that's in alignment still, or is it something that I need to let go? That kind of thing. I feel like that'll be part of the process, like because it feels like you've been holding on to a lot of things, and that could be like your desires, like your emotions, things that you want, or things that you like. It feels like kind of like there's going to be a decluttering process of like clearing out things that you don't want, right? Clearing out things that you need to let go, or like to throw out, if it's like physical objects or that kind of thing. But you're ending with the Sun here, because I feel like you have been in the darkness for too long, Aries. You've been doing shadow work for too long, maybe. Or you've been protecting yourself from something or from someone for too long. It's like it's time to like be in the sunlight. It's time to be in the sunlight. Okay. The Devil and the Moon at the bottom of the deck, and the Two of Swords. Right? Like, I feel like maybe, again, with the like addiction to problems, maybe there's some sort of like addiction, or like with the devil, right? Like it could be addiction, like being addicted to some sort of problem, or being addicted to the moon energy. I don't want to use the word addiction. It doesn't quite feel like that. It feels more like a fixation on some sort of problem. That maybe has been causing you to hoard your emotions. Like, anyways, I feel like you have something, Aries. You have a new beginning that is actually part of a bigger picture that you're not seeing yet. I feel like it's going to be made clear to you soon. You're part of a big picture. What you have is part of a bigger picture that involves other people. But I feel like you've been keeping your light to yourself. Okay, I don't want to use the sacred forest because I feel like that's okay, Aries. I'm gonna pull one card from the Hummingbird Oracle. I haven't used this one in a while. I feel like there's a lot of heavy energy that's lifting. A lot of fears that perhaps you're releasing, like confronting and then releasing. The moon dance. Listen to the rhythm and sway along with the heartbeat of the universe. Because I feel like that's where you are in right now, Aries. You're in the moon dance. Smooth flight. No need to struggle against the wind when you can catch the current and sail easily upon the breeze. Because I feel like this is, for you, letting go of something. It's just allowing yourself to be. Allowing yourself to be. It's letting go of control as well. I feel like you need to share more of your light, Aries, whatever that means to you. Okay, I'm going to end it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.